Yeah, so when we logged off of the Zoom, I was just sitting here and I was like, saying thank you, like thank you, Matthew, for connecting with me. Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking loudly to me. Thank you for being clear. And then he sent me the song, I'll be there for
Aww.
you. And I'm getting chills right now. So yeah, we're good.
So they're two very sensitive topics. So I want to know what's his perspective right now. And if he wants to comment or whatever comes through. And one is about the Jeffrey Epstein Island situation. People
He's
were
like, that came out of left field. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my God. He just sent me the sarcastic thing, like, do you really want to go there? Like that. Like, yeah. Well, it's just whatever you want to say, dude. Whatever you want to say. He's like, I don't really have much of a comment on that. He's like, that's not my realm. That's not my department.
Mhm.
Well, can you say something?
Perfect answer. And what about the vaccines? What's his thoughts about it now?
Oh, he's like, well, that's the dramatic role, huh? That's the dramatic role. He's like, welcome to Earth. That's the dramatic role. Um,
Mm.
okay, he's coming back to me like, take responsibility. Just take responsibility. Like own your shit. Like take responsibility for your happiness. Um and he's so it's empowering. It's an empowering message of like, it's on you. Like
Yeah.
it's not around here. It's, own it. He's really emphasizing on that. Really, like, come on, people. Like, don't put your shit like on Jeffrey Epstein or the mass media or even TV shows. He's like, it's here. Like, own your stuff and live it on your terms. He's like, you have more power than you realize. You have more ownership, ownership, like ownership power than you realize. Like than you realize. Everybody, he's like, don't put your power in somebody else's thoughts. Don't put your power in religion. He's like, don't. He's like, it's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. He's like, remember that. Remember that. It's here. He's just like, yeah. He really wants to emphasize on that. He's like, listen to my words. I wrote a fucking book. I put words on paper. Like, he's like, you should read my fucking book.
I should read it.
Yeah, in my free time. He's like, what else?
Oh, I want to know what's my connection to him?
Hmm, the love,
Oh,
love. Oh gosh, he's got so much love for people like that really want to exercise their power and communication in transmuting and putting love out there, spreading love and spreading love. He's so grateful for everybody that's like that's praying for his family, that's praying for his friends, it's praying for like healing, and like his drama that he came into this life with, his void that he had. And so with you, he's really glad we're doing this. He's really glad we're doing this. He's like, love, love, love. And he's really grateful. The first time that we had rescheduled this, he wasn't like disappointed, but I kind of felt his like he was waiting, like he was in the waiting room, like waiting, like to be seen. Like he was in a waiting room and he was like, and I'm like, But he wasn't angry. It was more like sarcastic,
Yeah.
you know? And he's like, this is life, this is Earth. But he's so grateful that he has this opportunity. And he's like, I'm here, I'm answering your questions. And he's like, but I'm going to keep it in a certain intention.
Yeah.
Because I'm really wanting to help people. And so listen to my words. Understand that I'm in such a better place. I'm free, I'm light, I feel good about my life. I lived well and I ended well, and no judgment. I lived well and I ended well. And he's so grateful to be able to have this means, and he's grateful to you. He's like the love, the love, the love. He's just like, all right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's here. He's tapped in. So if you have other questions
Yeah, about God. What
about
is
God,
God?
he's like, oh, religion. What do you think about God? He's like, God's everywhere. He's like, God's everywhere. People shouldn't be fixated so much on like, where's God? He's like, God's everywhere. God's here, God's there. Even when you don't think God's there, God's there. Um, he's like, love, the heart. However you choose that, if you're doing it in love, you're being God.
Wow.
He's showing me like animals and like trees, like hugging a tree, you know?
So can he say he was truly happy during his human life?
He's
Or
like, yeah, he's doing a very like sarcastic, like,
yeah.
um, he said there were moments of absolute bliss, but he said that was a superficial bliss. And he said that when he started like talking, like praying to God, that he had a more deeper, he started it was like removing the layers of the onion of like going deeper of his in himself. And he's like, I found a bigger purpose than just doing that on the set, you know, like you know? uh yeah, he really wants to leave a legacy of not like his faults and not his flaws and like his, you know, he's like, I didn't come here to just have people remember me for my addictions and my flaws and stuff. He's like, that's not why I came here. He's like, I wrote the book because I wanted to help people. Read the book. All right, I'll fucking read the book. I didn't want to do any homework on him, you know, because I could not do that.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to have any influence other of anything about him. And I knew that he wrote a book because, you know, when I was doing like going through Instagram, because I had never really looked at like dead celebrities post, like a last post, because I had literally just got on Instagram like, I don't know, 2 months ago, something like that. Because you and I had always communicated on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I had circumstances present themselves where I was on Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay, let's look at his, you know, Instagram page or whatever. Because, you know, when I heard he died, I was like, oh, let's check it out. So I checked it out. I didn't know anything about like Batman or Matman or whatever. And I was like, why are you into Batman? I was like, that's weird. Um, he's like, don't judge me.
Yeah, a lot of people are associating the Batman with him sensing his death. So it has nothing to do with it.
No, he's like, I didn't know I was gonna die. I had no idea. He's like, the only way you know you're going to die is if you intentionally or, you know, intentionally like do it. He's like, that's when you know. He's like, what's the point of even living if you know exactly when you're gonna die? He's
Exactly.
like, where's the drama in that? You know, he's like, drama.
Um,
Oh my God.
let me go. I'm going through the Facebook to see if I find something good.
He's liking these questions.
Nice.
He doesn't, he's like the Jeffrey Epstein. He's like, come on, people. You know,
Exactly.
he's like, don't feed into that. Like, what are you doing? He's like, how is it going to give you quality of life? How is that really going to serve your life in a better way if you're like sucking down this road of this? He's very passionate about that. He doesn't want you to freak out about your life. He doesn't want you to freak out about your life. Because I was just looking at you and then I went like zoned. And he's like, tell her she shouldn't worry about her life.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm just the messenger.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry. Don't worry. He's like, listen to music. He's like, listen to music. Does that make you happy when you listen to music?
I love singing and I kind of lost it.
Well, okay, there you go. There's your message.
Yeah. Did he ever pursue any religion or had an interest in spirituality? No.
No, he said that he got to know his spirituality and his depth in like the last part of his life. I don't know much about his dad, but he's his dad's still here. He just wish he had the connection with his mom. He wish he had a stronger bond, but there was this like disconnect. Either like she was gone a lot. She was just gone a lot. I'm getting the sense that she was busy. She was just gone a lot. And so he didn't have that nurturing that, you know.
So that explains a lot of I don't know if this is true, but someone is saying, why would he be with so many women and stuff like that? So I guess it comes from that wound.
He's like, I enjoyed life. I enjoyed life. What's the problem? Yeah. He's like,
Right.
he's like, at least you know I'm not gay. Oh, shit.
Let me see. Yeah, other people, yeah, as well. They want to help with the addiction part, the mental health. And that's where they feel the connection with Matthew.
He said, good. Read my book.
Oh,
He
nice.
said, good, read my book.
We're gonna have to read that book.
He's referenced that how many times now?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to get my backdrop a little nicer here because I'm like propped on my bed. So don't mind the background. Oh my God. He still likes Batman.
Wow.
He's defending that shit.
Why?
He said there's like a um there's some ambiguity to that. Anonymity. There's some anonymity to that. Not ambiguity. Sorry, that was my mistake. He said there's anonymity to that. And so he just pointed me to like my eye mask, you know, and it's like bat wings. And he's like, you know, I can hide because he's an introvert. He's a natural introvert.
And being public, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And he likes the idea of like the anonymity of Batman. He likes that. And he likes the heroicness, but he likes the anonymity to that. In the Bat Cave. The cave. And you know what was interesting was that like 24 hours within that time frame, 24 hours before you and I had like talked about like doing this, you know, I don't dabble too much on Facebook anymore. I really like Instagram because I've got projects that I'm doing that I'm like so intensely like supercharged about that I'm like doing my recon on Instagram, like with affiliate marketing and stuff like that. I'm so passionate about that. But I did go on Facebook like 24 hours before that, you and I just just to like putter around and just scroll around, and there's this guy that I follow. He's called Gator Chris, and he has like a gator sanctuary, an alligator sanctuary in Florida that he like swims with this alligator, like named Casper, and he's been working with him for like 15 years. And I love watching people working with animals and stuff because I just am so drawn to that, like the lion whisperer and stuff. Like I love that. And so I was looking on Gator Chris's stories, and he was going through a cave, and he showed bats. Like there was a group of bats that were just hanging out there, like they were just like in a group, like sleeping or something, or hanging out. And I was so drawn to that. And he had like 25 stories. Like you look at his stories of his, and it's just like story. And I was like drawn to this cave where the bats were. And I didn't know why, because a lot of times I'm just drawn to it. And then like later on, I'm like, oh, that's why. So I was drawn to these bats, and I was like, oh my God, bats. Wow. Oh my God, this cave. And then 24 hours later, you and I are talking, and then he's referring like Batman. And I'm like that kind of synchronicity. It was so crazy. It was so crazy. So, now I know why, but I just wanted to share that because little synchronicities like that like happen. And I see that as confirmation.
Exactly.
I really do think that if we pay attention to that those are valid. Those signs and synchronicities, they're valid. And
Exactly.
he's like, duh, would you expect anything different? you know? he's so he's so light and
Oh,
sarcastic. Like
I love him. I love him. Friends
he
for me
loves you
was
too.
like, oh my God.
He loves you too.
I
He loves
cannot.
everybody. He loves it. He's like, spread love, people. Like
Yes,
Earth fucking needs love. Like dolphins need water. Like we need love.
exactly.
And he's like, any way that you can find your own unique way. He's like, I wrote a book late in life because I wanted to help. I wanted to leave, that was his like higher calling, like his that he when he started having this spirituality, like later on in life he was praying, like with his sobriety, like wanting to, you know, he's like, I got sober a lot of times. He's like, I know the system, and I wanted to let people know. He's like, I'm an expert on it. I don't even know. I mean, now, after this, I want to, do my recon to confirm, especially about his mom. He's like, don't judge my mom. Don't judge my mom. I'm not. So,
What are his perspective with AI from his point of view now? Like,
he's like, it's cool. He didn't realize how much of it is there until after he passed, because he wasn't really associated too much with it. He's like, I was having projects. He's like, I had projects that I was, he's like, that was not my expertise. That was not my direction. He's like, Batman is kind of AI. He thinks it's cool, but he wants people to realize that the power is in their hands. He's like, do not ever, ever give up your power. He's like, don't ever give up your mental energy. Don't ever give up your heart energy. He's ownership. He's like really pointing his finger. He's like, take ownership of your life. He's like, I wish I had done that with my life. I didn't take ownership of my life. I was victim. I had issues and I had distractions. I had lots of distractions. He's like, when you're in the Hollywood space, you've got lots of distractions.
yeah.
He's like, the Jeffrey Epstein, that's a distraction. He's like, the more money that you have, the more distractions you have accessible to you. And he said that don't fret, don't fret, just own your responsibility and leave your own legacy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he really wants that. He's like,
What about how did he when you're public and when you're out there, right? And how to handle that heat? Because exactly what we were talking about, and like it's tough. It's tough being out there. It's tough being yourself and wanting to do good, and people misinterpreting. And then you know taking that hurt and that people not understanding that what you're wanting to give is actually love, but it's misinterpreted to their own filters, right? How?
yeah, he said that a lot of people have voids. And he said, you know, that's one thing that he's reflecting on with his life review is how powerful these voids are. He's like, man, they can get you. They can really get you. These voids, they can really get you. Distractions, he's like, people are distracted. He's like, AI can be distractive. Um, he's emphasizing healing. People need healing.
How can we, like, yeah, he said like sharing the love, right?
He said limit distractions, first of all. Limit distractions. He's like monk mode. And he's like, you know, and then he said, you know, people come in with a process of not even getting there in their life. And he's like, and that's okay. You know, like their soul is choosing that theme. And he's like, just focus on you, like take responsibility for you. You don't, you know, live it and show people that you're living it and lead by example. And then that influences more than doing this. He's like, get out there and you know, show people. And yeah, he says, you know, that's the best way to help people is to show them. He said, I wrote the book, but I wrote the book because that was me showing people. I wanted them to see, you know, by me writing and reading my words. And yeah. So he's talking about audio with his book. And he's like, I'm getting chills. He's like, it was really hard to read the audio. He's like, Annie, you can tell him this. It was really hard to read the audio, really hard to read the book because I was reading my own words. I'm getting chills. So this is passionate for him. He's like, it was really hard for me to read the book. It was really hard for me to read my own words, to reflect on my life. And he said, but I was willing to stretch myself and to grow through that. And he's proud of himself. He's proud of himself for doing that. Because he said there was a lot in there, a lot of demons, a lot of voids that went on, that started like the day that he was born. Like a lot of voids, a lot of stuff started when he was born. And but he's like, hey, that's drama, you know, like that's how I went. And he's finishing like on like a light note. He's like, he's going there. Oh, I'm getting chills. I'm wearing a long sleeve and I'm freaking getting chills. Okay. Okay, thank you. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. He's like, just focus on yourself. People need to heal, yes, but those that don't heal, don't fret, don't worry about it. Like, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is you. You own your shit, go through your stuff, and lead by example, show people. He's like, people need to heal, it'll happen, it's a process, but do your stuff first. You know, if you're out there trying to dictate everybody else, he's like, you're not even working on yourself. He's like, you don't want to be a hypocrite. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
This has been amazing. And I was nervous. I had no idea what to expect.
I was, there's a lot of stuff in the past 3 days that I wanted to share with you about these things that I needed for me, like that I needed for my ego, like confirmation of like, okay, like we have a date, like don't be late. I even wore my amethyst earrings to like set the intention because I wanted to hear clearly. So I wore amethyst around my ears.
So do you hear the voice inside, or how does it work for you?
Oh man. So it's a male voice I hear, but it's such a fast thought. It's like a download. And it comes, and so I have to be like, okay, and I have to like um stretch it out and communicate that. So that's why I kind of pause a little bit, because it's like, and I'm like, okay, brain work the words, get it right. And I do hear words from a male voice, um but it's concepts that come in, like he turned my head to look at my eye mask, and
Yeah.
he said anonymity, and I'm like, okay. So I'm just like, I'm really allowing, I'm just getting out of my way, I'm allowing, I'm just rapping, because it's coming in, and I have to get it out fast, otherwise I forget. It's just, I'm surprised that I remembered what I remembered for the past 3 days, like sitting here talking to him in the shower. Like that was pivotal. I even told every fucking thing, everything. So Matt's just like, I'm here. Any more questions? I'm here. I'm feeling him kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay,
No,
what
thank
else?
you. Thank him. He's given me a big gift that it's the confirmation that I have to do this. Thank
This
you.
feels good. This feels good. It feels good for him. It feels good for me, because I was nervous. You know, I just wanted him to show up. I didn't want to be ghosted. But he's really happy about this, and he doesn't want you to worry about your life. He's just said that again. He's like, don't worry, don't worry. And he wants you to have confirmation. He wants people to confirm that there is an afterlife, that he's there, and so he's like, you know
And
be
don't
happy.
not to worry about punishment, hell, and
Right.
all that, right?
Yeah. He's like, this is the hell.
Yes. Wow.
And he's like, don't do drugs. It's crazy. He's a trip. He's feeling light. He's feeling lighter. He's feeling better. He doesn't. He's like, he's happy with how he lived his life. He doesn't have regrets. Yeah, he's like, I can make better choices and stuff. But he's
Mhm.
like, you know, he's like, I was good. Like I did a great job. Like I touched a lot of people's lives. He's like, at least I wasn't a mobster or something like that. He's like, I made people laugh, and he's like, I made myself laugh, and he's like, I'm with my friends, and he's like, I'm with my friends, like everybody, like the whole world. He's like, my friends,
Wow.
so he doesn't want it to be limited to like just his TV time.
Yes.
And he's really happy about this. He's like, I've been on standby for 3 days.
Sorry.
It's been a trip. It's been a trip for sure. Do you have any other questions?
I think that's it. It's been beautiful, amazing, more than I could have ever imagined.
Really? He's like,
Yes.
that's a wrap. Oh God, I'm so glad he showed up. Okay, thank you. Let's all say thank you
Oh, yes. Thank you
for
so
for him
much.
for coming in. Thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for not ghosting us. He's like, boo. He's like, that's a wrap. He's like, take two again, take three again. And I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills.
He's
So
still
he's
making
sending
us
everybody
laugh.
love. He's sending everybody love. Okay, I'm getting chills. I hope you guys are getting chills. So yeah,
Yes. Thank
he's
you.
like, that's a wrap.
Perfect. Beautiful.
You know how like the thing with the movies? He's showing me that. He's like, that's a wrap. Oh, I'm getting chills on my legs and everything. Okay. Yay. So he's
Oh,
left. Matthew has left the building. He's left. Thank
wow,
you.
wow.